MWeb purchased all the shares of Pix, and let's just tell you that we started off in November 97. 98, we go public. In April 98, we go online with the MWeb Mall, shopping on the internet. Why is this going on? In Feb 98, we converted to a public company. That's the same information, In June, we opened an internet cafe in Parliament. August 98, South Africa's first Afrikaans online novel is hosted by MWeb. We got Afrikaans. In November 98, there's the MWeb Internet Africa agreement. That is, of course, where we acquired the Internet Africa home subscriber base. Internet Africa focuses just on corporates, and we just take over the home subscriber base. Of course, with the acquisitions, of course, since then, MWeb has had many acquisitions, and obviously that strengthened our infrastructure. Okay. We purchased 24.com. That was in Feb 99. We surpassed the 150 subscriber mark. We issue shares, and so on. Now I'm going to just read you a paragraph that just gives you some background, leads to the fact that we started in November 97. Just in a nutshell, few acquisitions strengthened our infrastructure in terms of networks and so on and hardware, and also obviously grew our subscriber base. Today we stand on more than 220,000 subscribers. If you go back to 97, I think Karen was like 5,000 subscribers, a staff complement of 25 people. Today MWeb has close to 1,000 staff. We also own CompuTicket. Most of you should know about CompuTicket. It's owned by MWeb, so including CompuTicket we stand on about 1,000 staff members. Okay. We also, in our content sites, include sites like MoneyMax, the money site, okay? And if you want insurance, there's NetCover. For MWeb staff, NetCover offers special rates. There's a number, you go onto the intranet, you can contact NetCover, and they can quote you. Very, very competitive. I'm in the process of getting a quote done now. So they're giving special rates to MWeb staff. Other sites include things like news, the news site, 24.com, as you saw, the portal that we acquired, among many other things, Supersport, PropertyNet, and so on. The company is headed up by the CEO. Anybody know who our CEO is? You've been around for a long time. Antoine Roux. What is our mission? What is our value statements? Anyone? Oh, I think that's the thing they're going to tell you the first day when you start. You're supposed to know what your mission to kill all other ISPs. Okay, that's our mission. Okay, we will go through the missions and value statements a little bit later. Anybody would like to know anything more about MWeb, about its startup? What we're giving you here is just a high-level overview. So not too much detail, just some information on where MWeb started up from. Any questions about how we started up and who we've acquired down the line? No? Okay. There's been quite a few acquisitions. McGregor, I'm sure you've all heard of the McGregor BMF acquisition. No, they don't know anything about it. Okay, I'm going to move straight in now to our first presentation. Okay, we're going to start off, let's find out what MWeb does by actually taking it from a scenario where a customer wants to do business with MWeb. So potential customers out there, anybody wanting to do business with MWeb, what is the process that they're going to go through to give you a good feel for looking at the divisions and how it all fits in. So there's a customer out there, they want to do business with MWeb. The division that they're going to be dealing with is our Connect or Dial-Up division. Okay, which most of you work in the Connect division or the dial-up division, okay, tech support, telesales and so on. MWeb Connect is headed up by Andrew Milne and our Thailand and Indonesian visitors. You met Andrew yesterday and Derek Herschel. So there's your dial-up business user or Joe Public. That's what he looks like. The customer would need a PC and a modem telephone line, can then go out to a retail outlet and obtain the product. As you can see, an incredible connections with CNA, so the retail outlets. Alternatively, you can also get via MWeb or MWeb agents, CompuTicket, and so on. So there are many places where customers can purchase the product. We also have in Cape Town, Rishdi Harper and Charmaine Viljoen. Their roles, just briefly, is to obviously ensure that our retail outlets are stocked up with product, that when there are promotions, that there are the correct displays and so on. Okay. And we have Sharon in Johannesburg who takes care of the same thing. This is all falls under marketing. Gary Bonney heads up marketing. Corinne will tell us more about marketing just now. So the customer goes out, purchases the product. The next step is to register, not so. Customer can register by phoning MWeb or registering online. Telephone number that they phone to register, or they can do it online using the CD-ROM. And this department is telesales, where customers register, and it's headed up by Diane Bester. We call her Di for short, and we've sort of just left it like that. She doesn't know. Those are the operating hours for telesales. You'll note that we also open on Sundays 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, but they never advertise this. In other words, it's not advertised to the public that telesales are open on a Sunday during those hours. Okay. Ooh. The only option is payment is by debit order, so all customers pay by debit order. And those are the different options, packages that customers can take. You remember we spoke about the MWeb Internet Africa merger. So we still have the MWeb package and we still have the Internet Africa package. Now Corinne's going to tell us, I think, a lot more about the MWeb brand and the Internet Africa brand. As you know, at the moment we still advertise them separately. The reason for that, just very briefly, Corinne, I'm correct in saying that you're going to talk a bit about those brands, is that your MWeb customer was more your fun, funky, color, you know, like that kind of image. Your Internet Africa was more your sort of corporate client, career-oriented, so different customer mix. Okay. What is currently happening or has happened is the merging of the two brands. So instead of having an MWeb Internet Africa homepage, it's all merged into one homepage. So everybody goes to the MWeb homepage, which all of you should have seen, yes, our homepage, or the new one. It's obviously now a combination of the MWeb and the Internet Africa customer mix. Okay. The only one package each, unlimited at 107 Rand per month, 14 days credit to your account when you subscribe, and you also get free homepage in M-Zone. Yes?
Including that cost.
I think it's including, yeah, it's including such projects. Okay. So customers get 10 megs in M-Zone free and 10 megs extra space outside of M-Zone. For Internet Africa, it's called the premium package, same price, 107 Rand per month. Also 14 days credit to your account. You can see it's the exact same features. Also when promotions run, you'll see if there's an MWeb promotion and Internet Africa promotion, it's the same price, the same thing. It's just because of the branding. It's the only reason why the two are separate. Okay. The next step. Customers now registered. Telesales will tell the customer in about 1 to 2 hours you should have access to the internet. Thank you for joining MWeb. Happy surfing, blah blah blah. All the wonderful things they do tell customers. And they also then inform customers should they have any problems connecting to the internet, please phone our wonderful people at technical support. Okay, that's most of you here. Tech support's number, headed up by Lynette Kruger. And note people who like sleeping, 7 o'clock to midnight, 7 o'clock in the morning to midnight. That's 365 days a year. Yes, you do get people on New Year's Eve at 2 o'clock in the morning struggling to connect to the internet. They're not out there partying, they're surfing. Okay. Tech support will take the customer through step-by-step process how to load software, browser, and so on, and type in relevant details and get connected. MWeb technical support customers on certain things, anything to do with connection. We don't support training customers on how to use computers and PCs and the internet. We do go the extra mile where we can. We have to be careful though of setting a precedence. If you do it once, you're going to get customers phoning in, giving someone grief about, I phoned in 2 weeks ago and someone helped me with this package, why are you telling me that you can't? Okay, so we have to be very careful. Of course, in your training, as you've all been through training by now, we'll know what are the processes and what are the kinds of things that we do support in technical support. Okay. And really it's about connection to the internet. We also have field technicians, two in Cape Town, two in Johannesburg. I think that's still the case, unless there's been any current changes. Where we can, by appointment with customers, go out to the customer's site and get it installed. Customers are anything like me. I don't like the schlep of knowing how to do the things. Just come do it for me. I'll pay you an extra fee. I just put my finger on the button and know where I need to go. Of course, we know that what could possibly happen is we charge a rate for first hour, it's about 195 Rand. That's about how long it will take to get the customer set up and connected to the internet. Any time thereafter, we charge 95 Rand per hour. Because Karima might start saying to the technician, Meneer, since you are here, don't you want to do this for me, do that for me, don't you make my screen look like this, and you have it do this kind of thing and that kind of thing. So there is a minimal charge for time after the hour. We also operate at 90 cents per kilometer, that's outside a 50 kilometer radius. Okay, so anything outside a 50 kilometer, we also charge customers for that. So that's technical support, where you come to us with your connection problems, and our well-trained, highly qualified, quality service providers here will provide you with the technical support that we need. We can immediately see there's a strong element of customer service here, and combined with technical skills. So it's quite an interesting field, and I think there's been many of this in the past, where you have a division where you have strongly technically inclined people who now have to strengthen their people skills as well. So we have a combination of this, and this is what we are developing in our technical support division, where we offer quality service using technically skilled people. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but usually you get high technical skills and you have to really develop the people skills side of it. Okay, so interesting industry. So, technical support, we're going to go through a very high level, because Karima is not a technical fundi, so we're going to go through a very high level overview here of what happens technically in the background when we are connecting to the internet. If anybody wants to give any input at this stage, you are more than welcome to share with us or educate the ones of us like me who don't know much about what happens on the technical side. So, let's look at it. We dial into, we want to connect, that's the line the customers are going to go through to connect. Of course, we're going to go through a few telecom exchanges. It's about 3 there, it could be 3, it could be more, depending on where you are located. So you're going to go through the telecom exchange. Okay, telecom obviously being our phone, telephone line company in South Africa. Then you get to what they call a POP. A POP is a point of presence. Again, it's a computer, piece of hardware. We have about 34 POPs, not locally, sorry, nationally. Okay. You then have to go through an authentication server so that you can check your name, username, and password. You then go through a web server. And then, so if you've gone and you said, I want to go into the Godzilla site, it's gone through that process. Okay? And once it gets to the Godzilla site, it comes back to your computer, and for some of us this happens in a few seconds, depending on the hardware that you have and software, or for some it can take a few minutes, okay, but the customer doesn't know that this is all happening in the background when they're connecting to a site.
Can I just comment on something?
Yes.
I found that what you now said is that people, depending on the hardware you've got, it's not really true.
Oh, good.
Telephone lines, lawnmowers.
What happens if you go to the States, I mean, you could have the biggest PC on your desk, and you're running 56K modem, fantastic, I mean, you're running really fast.
Yeah.
But you find that some days it's really fast, some days it's slow. Not because of your PC. I mean, you're running a link overseas, or the link actually goes via China, and via the UK, or via Switzerland to the UK, to the States. So, depending on what route you pick up at that stage, but the link overseas is not very big.
Yeah.
So, depending on how many people is coming over that link, how busy that link is how quick your response is. I mean, the interesting thing about internet traffic, it's like driving to Cape Town in the morning,
Okay.
right? If you put a single car on the road, you're the only packet on the road, right, on time, and you need to be quick. But if you run during rush hour, if the car in front of you stops, or the books, you're going to take 3-4 hours to get there. So depending on how many packets are in that specific pipe that
It doesn't really depend on how much bandwidth MWeb has. Once you start getting international zones and you get to bottleneck, it's like I said, if you're stuck in one lane, that's all you're going to get. One lane coming out of it, even though MWeb's got 6 lanes to travel on.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Johan. Okay, the hardware, software, sorry, I meant infrastructure, whatever else is involved. But thanks for sharing that amount of detail with us, guys. Any more input, please do send it our way. I'm sure most of you should know what a proxy server is. Yeah? Okay, so if you're going for the Godzilla site, those of you who don't know, just my brief explanation. Instead of going to the States to go and get the Godzilla site, if someone has gone to get it already, will be sitting locally here on the Proxima, so they'll get it off the Proxima. Jan, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll check the Proxima anyway, won't it? So irrespective of whether it's there or not, we'll always go and check the Proxima first and then go if Godzilla's not there, it will then go to the States and go and get the Godzilla site for you.
Usually, but not on secure sites. Secure sites it goes directly to that site that will not go through proxy server. They've got particular channels
Okay.
that are reserved for internet banking, for example.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so internet banking never sits on the proxies. Thank goodness. I think. Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
See, the banking sites normally have their own authentication as well, their own
Yeah.
firewalls. So
Yeah.
you can't bring that forward to the proxy.
Okay, cool. And of course, wanting to get mail, you're also going to go to a mail server. So just a very high level slide of the actual process. We are going to have someone come in from technology and talk to us more about the technology side of things, the technical side, bandwidth, and so on. How much traffic we at MWeb get coming through on a sort of daily. I think they look at their statistics daily, monthly average. So we will get that information as well. Okay, so you can see exactly how much traffic we have coming through on a regular basis. Of course, bearing all that in mind, and many of the other factors, Johan, like you shared with us, and Leonardo, there are obviously the things that can go wrong. Okay, so what are the possible things that can go wrong? Is that there could be connection or administration problems, and that's because of username or password, or telecom exchanges could be down. So another reason is customers' hardware or software problem. Software settings may be faulty, or there may be a problem with the customer's hardware. And of course, we know what we support, what we don't support. If the customer needs to have the customer's computer fixed, you need to advise the customer what to do about that. We only support connection problems. And server problems. POPs or servers could go down. So there, among other things, those are the main areas of what can go wrong. And when that happens, our tech support people will know that the phones ring off the hook. Okay. Now the customer is connected. The next department division that they're probably going to deal with in Dial-Up is our subscription accounts division, headed up by Etienne Kluter. Phone number for account queries. Customer support line is open from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, weekdays, Mondays to Fridays. Customers they deal with incoming account-related calls, collection of subscriptions due, so the normal sort of accounts type role. Okay, collecting money, querying customer accounts. They work with active customers, obviously active on the system, and clients can also get their statements online. Customers pay us monthly in advance. Hopefully we only take, remember it's monthly in advance and it's by debit order. Hopefully we only take one payment and not two. And these things can happen too. And then just the rest of dial-up or connectivity is our customer care division. They deal with outgoing calls, they make calls, they don't like that statement, they try to keep customers. For Japanese customers who want to cancel their subscriptions, we have a team of people called Churn. Churn is for those customers who want to disconnect their service, want to unsubscribe. And we obviously have a group of people who will then get in touch with these customers, find out the reasons why customers want to leave, and hopefully get them to continue subscribing. Why do you think customers quit using the internet? Why would they want to unsubscribe? Corinne?
There's various reasons. One of the reasons that we found is that they actually don't know the internet. And I hope you don't mind if I just cut in a slightly presentation. When MWeb started, one of the main problems we had was that people didn't understand the internet. So we basically had to start educating subscribers, or our members as we call them now, to understand the internet, what they can do. It's not a television medium that's easy to understand. Most people have now been growing up with television. It was really explaining to them what services could be offered via the internet. And we've had a lot of calls of people saying, first of all, they don't have time to surf the internet. Secondly, there's nothing on the internet that they need. Bad service is most certainly also been where they try to phone and the copper cables have been stolen and they think it's us. And just for our visitors as well, in South Africa we have a huge problem with copper cables, telecom copper cables, our infrastructure that gets stolen. And unfortunately subscribers, or fortunately, subscribers are very demanding, and the moment they can't connect, they couldn't care what is happening on the backbone, they just see it as MWeb's problem. So they can't connect. There's just so many reasons, and all of them valid, but a lot of them comes back to being uneducated, that they actually don't know how to use the internet.
Okay.
One advantage that people never realize what the value of the internet is. My wife was never, she is so computer illiterate and she doesn't even use a PC. But now she found out that I'm running voice over IP to her sister in the UK. She loves it. In other words, she never has a major international account, and she just talks to her sister over the internet, and she says that's how this. So that's one big advantage, cutting costs.
Just like we all are customers, we have to see the benefit in something, not so that we go out and pay money for before we'll actually latch onto it. And that again, with the whole marketing drive, MWeb Drive at the moment is selling content. You can think back, those of you, can you remember the first ads that you saw, the MWeb ads on TV? I can't remember if you had one of the first ads, I doubt it, but it was just to get the internet in the pizza box, and that didn't make a lot of sense, to people about what the internet was. And I've been here a year and a half, and I think we have done so much in this short period of time in terms of focusing our energies on selling the content of the internet to customers out there. This is South Africa. You find that something new, technology, either it's the yuppie scene or the, I must have, the latest technology. So it's a mind shift for us, for consumers, buying on the internet and so on. But more of that later when Business Solutions and Sianda comes in and tells us about how they target, who their target market is, and how we get people getting into e-commerce and so on. Okay, so they also follow it, and they do follow up and deal with changes in customer accounts, okay, which is another division. You're going to go through all of these divisions respectively. Client liaison deal with staff and VIP account holders, demos and shareholders. So all staff and people who don't pay for subscription You go to client liaison, they will get you signed up. All staff at MWeb get free internet access. Of course, the company is not responsible for our telephone bills. So you cannot send MWeb your telephone bill because you were surfing. You just want to pay a subscription. They also sort and respond to all other kinds of correspondence, queries, mail queries, post, and so on. Then we have our switchboard reception area. Claudette and Georgina are two wonderful, friendly, helpful ladies on switchboard. Fatima sits in the reception area in block F when you come in. It's usually with the security guy next to her. And that people makes up the Connect division, okay, or dial-up, as it's referred to. Still use Connect and dial-up because people still think of it as being the Connect division. The next step is obviously doing business with MWeb means going mainly through our dial-up division, but of course in this organization there are all the other support divisions. So we have our revenue generating divisions, which is Connect, then we have Business Solutions, Sianda, CompuTicket. So these are all our sort of revenue generating. Have I left anyone out? Don't think so. Those are our revenue and studios, of course. Revenue generating. Then we have our support divisions like marketing, human resources, finance, and by the end of today you would hopefully have met and heard about all of them. Okay. I think at this point I'm going to hand over, we'll hand over to Corinne Visser now, and then I'll continue the rest of my presentation after that.
Okay, you want to take a smoke break?
Smoke break, she said the magic word. Look at your hands smiling. Okay, quick smoke, you can set up.
I've been with the company really since inception, September '97. It's a brilliant company to work with and we work for, so welcome first of all to everyone. I'm here today with almost two hats. I'm representing marketing in the department which I report into, as well as that of corporate affairs. I would say the last year we've been trying to position corporate affairs, although we're still in marketing. I have a dual reporting line. It's into our CEO, Jimmy Roo, and to our marketing director, Gary Barney. So we're really positioning corporate affairs as a business unit, a separate business unit, falling within marketing. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't, but we're trying. Oi, that's very small. What do I do now?
Now you just took us through the different divisions. Any of us can read that. I mean, you read it.
Oh, Mommy, is there nothing I can do to make it bigger? Oh, go back. How do I go back? Page.
It's easier.
Okay, that's why when we are not technical. Isn't there anybody who can tell me how to make this bigger? No? Yeah, it's our PowerPoint. Is that it? That's my line.
This is huge, so
On the end of the
Yeah,
news.
you're on the end of it.
Now, we need to end it and then restart it. Change the resolution.
Okay.
That way go Zoom.
yeah, you got it. Open it back up.
Okay, somebody else.
Open it up.
That's the thing, you never take support. They all have a resolution to
That's
control.
right.
I'm just saying, there's like 4 different versions coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one?
Yeah. Make it big, yeah. That one.
Make it
400.
That's that.
Hey,
Just show it like that. No, just show it like that.
Leave it.
But what about all these thingies?
No, just
Scroll up.
You're going to just scroll up and down.
for that one
Okay.
screen you have to scroll.
Okay, as you can see, you've just seen our technical team now in operation.
Getting solutions to the problem.
Okay, this is Gary Barney, our marketing director. He's probably one of the most visionary people I've ever worked with. I really feel like a little child at his feet. His PA is Hailey Dusart. Then on this side, we've got Manu Krikha. She's marketing manager of Sianda. And you are going to tell him a little bit later about Sianda.
About Sianda, we have someone coming in. Brianna is going to tell us all about Sianda.
Okay, Sianda Satellite Technologies. It's a very, very sexy project and product, so I hope it really is sexy. It's internet via satellite, and very often I think it's perhaps ahead of its time, but if you look at the applications that we're currently developing for Sianda, it is spot on. It's just brilliant. I hope you get excited about it as well. Reporting to Manu is Liesel McKenzie. I don't know why she's in white and the others in green. What did you do now that that one's white?
In a diverse environment.
Yes. And then you have Charmaine Cornelissen. So she's got quite a small business unit. As you can see from the marketing department, we had to create separate business units because the brands and the company is just too big to just manage it under one person. Then you've got Nicola Byte, who's marketing manager of the Mweb brand strategy, advertising, retail product and CD. So anything you see regarding Mweb as such, the big black box, the advertisements, the CDs that we distribute is being managed by Manu. She's got a team including Liswa Nukani and Joshua Kutsia. Now Joshua is solely responsible for developing the CDs and the big black boxes, which we'll tell you a little bit later. And then there's one position vacant at the moment, which is a retail marketing coordinator. Then we've got Charlene Beekers, who's marketing manager, online marketing, competitions, promotions, and relationship marketing. She's also based in the offices here. She does everything online marketing, and this is now for Internet Africa brand as well as for the Mweb brand. Reporting to her is Paula McKinley, Ilana De Goede, I don't know why that looks so weird, and Gillian Lynch. There's nobody underneath that over is. And then Mark who? Who's a marketing manager? I have no idea who Mark is. He's obviously new. And then in my business unit, you've got me, trying to manage internal and external communications, media liaison, investor relations, but I'll go through all the activities falling under corporate affairs. Then I've got Caroline Sedgwick, who's my corporate affairs officer, and Libu Mesengana, I don't know where this white is coming from, who's managing all internal corporate communications. And then Marily Robenheim, who joined me 3 weeks ago. She was supposed to be here today, but we're really busy, so she couldn't, as corporate affairs coordinator. This department only came into fruition about 2-3 months ago. Until then, I was trying to manage everything, which is just virtually impossible. And one thing that I've discovered, being at Mweb, 3 months is equal to one business year. We moved so quickly that one day I was sitting thinking, we need formal internal communication. There's just nothing happening. And where we used to be 45 employees, where you see one another in the toilet, in the kitchen, in the alleys, it was just such an informal communication that happened and that worked. Now with 1,000 employees, you need formal communication tools. So, okay. How can I get out of this thing now?
On the left-hand side.
Ja.
Daarso.
Ja.
Op, daarso.
Ja.
Even rechts, nog rechts.
Nog rechts?
Nog rechts.
Ja.
Nog
Net
rechts.
slaatje daar.
Ja,
Goed.
Okay.
Brilliant. Really happy now. Okay, so that's the team.
Marketing. Very ambitious.
Okay. We've got, I think each department in the company have their own mission. Although we have an overall corporate mission and vision, it's still important as a department, as a business unit, to know exactly what your business objectives should be. The marketing objectives is to obtain members, and that's what we call acquisition of members. It is to keep members, which we call retention of members, and to promote e-commerce. In corporate affairs, we have slightly more objectives, which is not really it. You know, it's not that marketing isn't doing more, but I think we're doing more than they are. There's nobody in marketing that can defend themselves. First of all, is to generate awareness, internal and external. Secondly, it's to educate key audiences. It's also reputation management, relationship development, media coverage generation, competitor and issue monitoring. Are there any of those which you wish me to fluff out a little bit more, to tell you more about?
Corinne, can I just ask a question on the reputation management? Is
Yes.
that Mweb's reputation within society, as an organisation, or us internally?
It's both. Our stakeholders that we're communicating to is internal and external. So part of corporate communications or corporate affairs is always keeping your ear on the ground. Unfortunately, we have to listen to rumors, we have to listen to the grapevine, but we always try and react or be a lot of time proactive, and a lot of time we have to be reactive. Just for example, when there's a lot of technical problems, the technical teams and support centers are like bogged down. They're absolutely killed. And we know then as a fact that the morale of the company goes down. You know, because you can only have so many screaming members on the phone daily. And then we do little things to try and perk them up. For example, just sending like 60 pizzas. We phone Mr. Delivery and we tell them we need like 60 or 80 pizzas. They usually don't believe us when we place a large order like that. But sending food, sending cool drink, quickly inform on 20 what's happening, and he goes and he makes it around on the floor and say, "Hi guys, how are you doing?" Or telling Andrew Mill. So there's a lot of things that we try, first of all, to keep the morale up. Also, what is typical of a large organization such as Emirates, well, we're still small in other companies, relative terms, but with 1,000 employees, bad rumors just start snowballing. And unfortunately, the nature of people is first to believe the negative before they believe the positive. For example, if somebody is asked to leave, we've got very strict disciplines that we have to adhere to before a person is asked to leave. Unfortunately, things snowball, and if it's your colleagues, say for example, you're asked to leave, your colleagues would rather believe your version than the company's version. And it's difficult for people to understand there's always two sides to a story. It's just the nature of people. And it's to pick up on those rumors and to try and quash it by means of internal communication tools, like the newsletter explaining a process. We won't bring out your case that you've been asked to leave, but explaining the process. Oh, I'm sorry. But really try and highlight the situation. Reputation management externally is slightly more tricky. That's where I start going grey overnight. We have, I call it flavor of the month issues. Like I have a flavor of the month ice cream. We have flavor of the month issues. Until recently, our flavor of the month issues was security on the internet and hacking. And we were bombarded by the media asking us about hacking, how safe we are. And unfortunately, hackers itself in South Africa received a lot of publicity where they were stating that they got access to MWeb member service numbers, credit card numbers, telephone numbers, and they were using that detail to acquire 60,000 rand laptops and that type of thing. And the issue that you have around that is that it does incredible damage to the internet industry and the e-commerce industry. So there's a lot of things that you need to do, proactive and reactive, to try and first of all quash the rumors, satisfy the media, and keep our subscribers happy, ensure the right messaging is going out. So that's reputation management. The latest issue now is, flavor of the month issue is pornography on the internet. They're looking towards us as we must protect our subscribers against pornography. And it's now devising statements, how will we quash the rumors, what can we do, what can't we do, and how far down the line are we the protectors of our subscribers. You can't really protect a person going into the CNA, going and buying a pornography book. So that's reputation management.
Or like the other bit, can you stop this pornography from coming up in what we do? Don't go there.
Don't search for it.
Some interesting statistics. I read some article the other day. Still between 70-80% of all transactions or all serving in the web is pornography based.
Well, that's your e-commerce success story. That's the worst part, is the sleaziest, most terrible things that people are buying is the most successful e-commerce stories. Yeah, and obviously you don't want to promote that. You don't want to say, scary stuff. One of the other objectives that we have is media coverage generation and competitor and issue monitoring. I make it my duty to know as much about my competitors I possibly can. We've got a couple of competitors. I only see one as really giving us slight chase for our money, and that's World Online. The others I don't really see The problem is that World Online, it's the international company, and they've actually been through a lot of bad publicity recently, which I'm really happy about. And World Online has got a lot of money. They have an amazing backbone when it comes to funds. You can't even touch that amount of money. So, and there's a lot of places that you can just buy yourself into. So that's why I'm quite concerned about them. Okay? So what do we do? In marketing. Marketing teams is responsible for the brand strategy development, implementation and management of those. The advertising strategy development, implementation and management, product development and management, retail marketing strategy development, implementation and management, online marketing strategy development, implementation and management. Nicola wrote this thing, she's just so deep now. Relationship management and international marketing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a marketing expert. If there's anything on that that you wish me to fluff out, I'm most willing to do that. But I can't really say anything more about what strategies they have, what they do. I just see them running around looking incredibly busy. Is there anything you wish me to add on what marketing is doing? Alright.
Then nobody's asking questions.
What is it?
No, say thank you. Say nobody's asking questions.
That scares me, that's the worst part. Corporate affairs is the management through communication of perceptions and strategic relationships between an organization and its internal and external stakeholders. So it's just coming back, and Karuma, we really take care of internal and external stakeholders. First of all, under internal communications, which I mentioned to you earlier, is being managed by Lebu Mesingana. You'll probably see her, she tends to travel around in the company. She'll sometimes come and sit in your meetings, just to keep her ear on the ground. That's our responsibility, is to keep our ears on the ground. There's some tools that we have, unfortunately, once again coming back to an MWay budget, which we can't spend millions. We just don't have it. In a couple of years, hopefully we will. But with the media budget that we have, we really try and use the communication tools that we have. One communication tool which is currently in development is the intranet. In Afrikaans we'll say, and I have no idea how we're going to translate that, Schoenmakers should think lokaal goed. How will I translate that? The baker's children is hungry? Baker's children are hungry? Would that be a direct, I think that should be a translation.
The shoemaker's child wears no shoes.
Wears no shoes. Although we're in the internet industry and although we develop corporate websites and intranets, we've got a division called More. We have our own intranet, but it's really been neglected. And that's something which is we're taking care of that now, trying to develop it to the best of our ability to pull people in so that we can use the tools that we have, you can use that as a communication tool. As an example, MultiChoice, one of our sister companies, have got their own TV station. And every Friday they have their own broadcast, they've got their own presenters. It is so Jewish, it's incredibly sexy. You can't believe what they're doing on their internal communication channel. At one stage we thought, shall we use that as a channel, but we've realized the internet should be that. And that's where Sianda is coming in as a corporate communications tool, but Rihanna will tell you later about that application. We also do, if you see the vision and mission statements, it's the large posters outside. That's the type of thing that Libo also manages. It's also sending out regular notices via email and taking care of notice boards, doing motivational things, sending in 60 pizzas in the call centers when they bog down. Also other things, when we recently reached, I think we reached our 200,000 subscribers. And please just send some around. Perhaps if I get you to eat, I can get you to look happier. Some more. Has everybody got one? That's the type of things that Libo is doing. It's small, but everybody arrived at their desks. They had a little sweetie next to the desk and we tied balloons on. We came in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and trust me, I'm not a morning person, I was grumping the whole day. Then we also have a newsletter which we call Emphasis. It's all happening at MWeb. This comes out once every 2 months. It used to come out once every month. However, it might look as though it's easy to produce. It's not. Because getting all the information, getting the photographs, getting contributions is scary. So I'm just going to send this around and then you can just have a look at it. Okay. Then external communications. Under external communications, we contribute to international corporate affairs. We've established MWeb Thailand and MWeb Indonesia, and then we have, I know I shouldn't say MWeb Africa is international, but I also classify them under international PR MWeb Africa, although they're coming into us now. It's a new thing that's happening now. We try and assist them by means of assisting them how to choose PR agencies, and we're currently in production of a corporate style guide, how to write press releases, and who to use as company spokespeople, everything relating to corporate affairs, so we can help them to set up their own PR department. We also manage investor and financial relations. Now I write all the copy that you'll see in our annual report. The year 2000 is now in production. Usually our results are not looking that brilliant. It's our third year. It's our third year that we're producing the annual report. However, once you start reading it from the first annual report to the third one, then you realize how far the company has actually developed. It is unbelievable. I'm very, very proud when I write the copy for that. What we also do is roadshows. Since we're a listed company on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, we have to do roadshows quite regularly to our investment analysts. And we do that by means of taking Antoni Roux and Rudy Jansen, our financial director. We actually sit a round table with some financial media, some analysts, and we talk about issues that are bothering them. I must admit, the first question they always ask, so when are you going to make money? Issue involvement, which I've explained briefly earlier. Our corporate website, Karima showed it a little bit.
To take us through a little bit more just now, it's a brilliant website, a site to go and read up more about MWeb, what we are, the different divisions, and so on.
It's called mwebholdings.co.za. It also works under .com. And I'm currently updating that website. Unfortunately, there's nobody else that I can dedicate it to. And it means it's a rewrite of copy, everything like that, and also new look and feel. But I thought was then brilliant. I now think, perhaps we must do something.
Because Karima uses it every month.
I'm so sorry, I'm working on it. Then any joint ventures, we believe in also investing in the internet, and as we mentioned earlier, investing in e-commerce. And we call the deals that we close joint ventures. For example, there's a well-known jeweler in South Africa, her name is Jenna Clifford, and what we do, we assist her to set up her own store via the internet or on the internet. We e-commerce enable her, and then we take a stake in her business. It's usually 50-50, and there's various ways that the revenue splits happen. Sometimes it's a direct revenue split, sometimes it's on items sold, so each contract varies. Some of the contracts that we have with joint ventures is Jenna Clifford, Jelly Bean, which is similar to Egghead. It's a deal with Multimedia Warehouse where we sell computers and software over the internet. The Pro Shop, there's quite a couple, there's about 13 or 14, and we only started with joint ventures about a year ago. Then corporate social investment, once again my budget is quite limited when it comes to corporate social investment. But what we do is in South Africa specifically, we have a problem where our education is not up to standard. So we have a program called SHOMA. And SHOMA is a reach out program and distance learning center. It's based in Johannesburg, the SHOMA Center. And it's now run by Jackie Lebogang, who works for MultiChoice, one of our sister companies. And what we do is by means of Sianda, we stream the work modules to schools that are quite far out, to rural areas, and the teachers come together at a community center where we've set it up for them. They come there, they get all the learning material they need. We even give them training on how to learn, show the children how to use the work, and then obviously we try and raise the educational levels in South Africa. The other thing we do is, it's still in progress, we've got about 2 or 3 schools that we educate children on the internet. We give them cyber cafes at the school. We go in, they give us a classroom, we paint it, we decorate it, we put computers in, we put somebody from technical there usually for 2 or 3 months to train a teacher how to use the internet and how to show the children how to use it. And then the children make use of the internet. We also make use of that schoolroom then, that the local community can make use of that schoolroom as a, like a cyber cafe. They can make use of it, get some training, and then they pay a nominal fee to the school, like you would if you go into a cyber cafe, and that also assists our schools in raising a little bit money for their funds. We've done about 3 schools. We might take it further, but unfortunately where the schools are usually located, it's in very bad, very poor areas. And the theft that you have, because it's not necessarily the children or the parents or the local community, but it's sometimes people out of that community going and breaking into the schools, stealing the computers. It's quite tragic. Then sponsorships, I must admit we don't do a lot of those. It's not something I personally endorse. I don't believe you should be seen at golf days or motorcycling or anything like that. I believe that I'd rather invest in corporate social investment, the money that we have. We're not a company making money yet, so we're really trying to steer clear of any sponsorships as such. Event management, those are if we have international visitors. We have quite a lot of those. Show them the company, take them around. We also have 4 events a year for the company, which is usually organized by Libre. It comes back to internal communications. Any other events, but we also don't do a lot of that. I'm sure it's not keen on events. Then media relations, which takes up probably 80% of my day, and that's why I put it so low down. We have not a very large media contingency in South Africa, however we have a very interested media contingency, and the internet and those issues that I mentioned to you earlier are always hot topics. So that's taking up a lot of my time. They phone me, they ask me questions, and sometimes we need to position the right spokespeople. We only have 2 or 3, but I'm the media gateway. So if you do get in your daily existence at MWeb, because it really would be an existence, if you do get any calls, any media calls, please refer them directly to me. My telephone numbers are on the internal list. And then we also act as group consultant to MIH, MultiChoice, MWeb Africa, which is also international, I say. Any of those would phone us saying, because their head offices are in Joburg, they would phone us saying, we want to do this and this, can you advise us? And then we advise them from this side, especially since we're based in Cape Town. So that's a day in corporate affairs. Okay, what brands do we have? We've got MWeb Holdings Limited, which is the holding company of MWeb. Then we have Sianda Satellite Technologies. We have Internet Africa, and more falls under Business Solutions, and it's a web development company that we have. CompuTicket is a ticketing company. And if you need tickets for the theatre, you can phone CompuTicket or go to the website or go to outlets. We have outlets in basically all the in all the shopping centres throughout South Africa. So you go to CompuTicket, you book your tickets. Really is a local. I think South Africa is almost exclusive to the use of CompuTicket. There's very few international companies that have this type of large infrastructure.
I think the fear that CompuTicket's cap is usually when people are going to immigrate. It's not a research done by MWeb. It's usually when they ask, what are the things you're going to miss about, South Africa? CompuTicket's one of them.
Yeah. So they've been operational now for 29 years. So they really are an institution like Vaseline, Jimmeline, those type of brands. They're wonderful brands.
Correct, I'm also correct in saying CompuTicket is sort of falling under, being incorporated into Business Solutions as well for the selling tickets on the web.
Yeah. And then we have MWeb Travel. That's also a joint venture, a 50-50 joint venture that we have with Uniworld. So you've got mwebtravel.co.za on the internet, and also they act as a normal travel agency. We can just phone and book your tickets. And then the joint ventures, which I've mentioned to you earlier, they trade under Jenna Clifford or Jelly Bean or Pro Shop and those. Okay, brand positioning. The MWeb brand positioning is for our consumers to understand our members that it's easy, it's your home on the web, it's a safe haven, and it's every person's internet. To get back to the two brands that we have that you will see on shop floors is your MWeb Big Black Box. Now, this is the previous one, and that's why I would like to say that we're writing the book as we're going. There's no marketing books or PR books that we can use to see how it should be done. We have no idea. We're working on gut, we're working on experience, and we're reacting immediately to what our users and our members are saying to us. This is the box that you all know. I'm sure you've seen it, you know it was delivered to your house by Mr. Delivery, you could find it at Clicks, find it at Pick n Pay. We try to make the outlets as easy as possible for our members to access it. Because before MWeb came on the scene, I'm not being arrogant when I say this, the internet was quite an exclusive product. Only the select few knew about it. It was Pix was the company who managed it, and Internet Africa, and only your real computer boffins knew about the internet. We made it a consumer product. So this is how we started with the Big Black Box. Then we acquired Internet Africa. There's a couple of other acquisitions in between, but Internet Africa was the largest other ISP we acquired. We had to acquire quite a couple of ISPs because the only way you will win the game is by means of being the largest ISP, and that's not just organic growth, but you need to acquire. We acquired Internet Africa. This is the brand we then developed, but we acquired Internet Africa, and the Internet Africa was one of the first ISPs in South Africa, and the people with Internet Africa access and the members of Internet Africa are very finicky. They didn't want to lose their brand. They saw themselves as exclusive, stunning, brilliant, bright, and they didn't want to lose the brand. We realized that if we took the brand, because with other acquisitions that we did, the brands just died. We immediately cut off the brands. But we realized by killing the Internet Africa brand, we would lose 5,000 subscribers a month because they would now not go to us. Because this was your choice. You had Internet Africa or MWeb. And MWeb, we made a consumer product. This was fun, this was bright, this was brilliant. And Internet Africa was the career, the yuppie, the dinky, the dinky is a double income, no kids. Yet. So your brands and your target audiences just was completely different. Then what we did is to keep these people happy. We bought 24.com and we gave them their own portal. Because the portal that the Internet Africa users used was iAfrica.com. Part of the deal was not iAfrica. We did not purchase iAfrica.com. We bought Internet Africa. So there's still a lot of confusion in the market where people say, oh no, but my ISP is iAfrica. It's not. It's not. iAfrica is the portal. Then we tried to lure these people away from iAfrica.com to our portal, but they wouldn't come to MWeb because they hate this brand. These people hated this brand. So we gave them their own portal, and that was 24.com. And we kept this running for a year. Now, I don't know if anybody really knows the expenses that you have in marketing, but running two brands and two portals are incredibly expensive. And just coming back, we're still not making money, so it didn't work very well. A year ago, we ran it for a year, especially the two portals, and then we decided this is it. We just can't continue like that. We're spending too much money, and we need to. These people are now happy. They see they're keeping the email addresses. The email addresses is iAfrica.com, but they're keeping the email addresses, and we decided now to close the 24.com portal to merge it with MWeb, and now we have the one MWeb portal with the additional services. The final portal we launched about a month ago, where we've got exclusive member services. It's really more zwished up, it's clean, it's still busy and funky and happening, but it's most certainly more. It's grown, the brand has grown, the brand has become an adult. And I'm sure if you think back to MWeb's first ads and you think to where we now, you realize we've come a long way. We really have. We're still continuing with this brand on the shelves because at the end of the day, if you walk in and you have to choose between iAfrica or MWeb, you still have a lot of people going for this brand because a lot of advertising is done word by mouth. I will find you asking, what brand can you recommend? Because I know you work in technical. So a lot of it is still word by mouth. what we've now done is because we don't know, I'll be honest with you, we don't know how long we're going to keep these brands in the store. We'd actually like to get rid of it, to be very honest with you. So we've devised a new black box, which is brilliant. So we've only had this now a week, so I'm not really excited about this. If you look at where we came from, this really now looks like shit. I'm sure you agree. Yucky. Now we've got a new box because we still have to appeal. Hello, ladies. This is Stefani. She's executive producer of MWeb Studios.
Yes, continue.
This is now the new big black box. It's nicer, it's cleaner. I hope you all like it. Can I get a yes or a no, or you hate it, or a smile?
So Karen, how many things is he holding there? That's the competition.
Yeah.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah. We've just decided that if you first of all wanted to go for this box, then, and you hated that box, this box will appeal to both audiences. And I'm sure you'll agree. Well, I hope you would. Okay. Do you want to send the box around? It's okay.
Our stuff comes in the other box, it's so big.
Well, the bigger the...
the iron.
Oh, that's just
The
a,
replica, yes.
that's just a demo.
Oh, but
What's your message about the
It's basically you can find the world on the internet. You mean, what's the message? Why is he holding her? It really is just you can find the world. It's all in the box.
It's something that's not active.
Net active? We are just managing their subscriber base.
They're not supporting them.
No, not advertising us or anything, no.
Taking them over.
Oh yes, we have.
Yeah.
We just manage
We
it.
technically maintain them and,
Yeah.
and we're trying our best to get them access to all our exclusive features on MWeb. At the moment that's a technical nightmare, but we're doing our best. Because they know that they're part of the family and they want access to all of that and they need to get access to all of that, but we don't quite trust them.
So that's all going to scale. The process is happening.
They're on board, they get all our newsletters, they're fully part of the MWeb team, but technically we still have a couple of
You
issues.
still get some guys phoning in from NetAct or on any database. Username, name, details.
They're on a separate database, that's part of the technical problem, which is why we can't give them access to our tools and
Yeah,
things.
you mean, try and
They're on
find
their
somebody like that, you can't find their details, you don't know what the username is. And they just get bounced around.
Okay, you asked me why this box is so big. I'm sure some of you have thought. It was the only one I could find now. But what this is a point of sale, which we use in marketing and in retail. So if you walk into your Incredible Connection or your Clicks or wherever we're selling these, then you'll see the big black box. It's basically just an advertising tool. But it looked like this, about the same size as the MWeb box. I'm going to show you some advertisements. The first one is a new ad. I don't think anybody has seen it, neither have I. So, let's see. It's not just gisteravond gedryf, misschien is.